Today, we're going to explore a really powerful, structured framework. It's designed to build genuine financial stability, step by step.
And we're breaking down a strategy that I think is really going to resonate with so many of you, especially if you're facing that very specific, very modern kind of financial anxiety.
It's a feeling a lot of us know all too well, right? You're working hard, you've got a good title, a decent salary, but deep down, doesn't the whole thing just feel fragile? Like if you stop pedaling for just a few months, the whole thing could just fall apart. Well, there's a name for this. It's called the high earner, low stability trap. Now, what's so interesting here is where this strategy actually comes from, because the source is absolutely key to its validity. It was developed by Tamir Kahan. He's the creator of the YouTube channel, The Golden Path to Financial Independence. And he's the architect of this whole 3 stages, 13 steps to financial independence. What's really cool is that he's also the official Hebrew translator of The Richest Man in Babylon. So you get this fascinating texture, right? It's a blend of modern systems engineering with this ancient, timeless financial wisdom.
So, who is this framework really for? Well, it's not for the high-risk day traders, and it's not just for people focused on crushing debt. It's specifically for salaried individuals, people who want to move from a state of financial dependence to asset ownership and genuine freedom of choice. It's for anyone who wants their money to finally start working for them instead of feeling like money is just something that happens to them.
And this is what makes the creator's story so incredibly relatable. See, he wasn't some hedge fund manager. He was a senior systems engineer who worked until he was 60. But here's the kicker. Despite being a total pro at designing complex systems, until he was 45 years old, he had zero financial education. He had a single source of income where his time literally equaled money. And he'll tell you himself, the term financial independence just wasn't even in his vocabulary.
So the turning point for him came when he read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But here's the thing. Unlike most people who just get a temporary buzz of inspiration, for him, it triggered his engineering brain. A massive shift happened in his thinking before a single dollar even changed hands. His question went from, how do I make more money, to a completely different one. How can I own a system that produces income independently of my time? And that right there is a complete redefinition of the problem.
So he started to look at his entire financial life through this systems engineering lens. Think about it. Income is just an input. Debt, that's friction. It's wasted energy. And having a single job, well, that's a single point of failure. It's like running a critical server with absolutely no backup. And this leads to the core insight of the whole strategy. Financial instability is not a moral failure. It is a system design problem. And you don't solve system problems with motivation. You solve them with structure, with proper sequencing, and with clear rules.
And this brings us to a really critical distinction, one that trips up so many people. Financial independence is not the same thing as being wealthy. I want you to think of it like climbing a mountain. Financial independence, that's base camp. It's a safe, stable, self-sufficient spot where you can live without ever needing to climb higher. It's the point where your passive income completely covers your living expenses. Now, wealth, that's the summit. It's great if you want to get there, but it comes after independence. This strategy is all about getting you to base camp first.
So the entire strategy is built around this amazing analogy, a 3-stage rocket launch. Stage 1 is all about preparing the launch pad. This is your foundation. This is where you shift your identity. Stage 2 is the launch sequence. This is the heavy lifting, okay? This is where you build resilience, you get rid of debt, you create buffers. And then Stage 3 is achieving orbit. This is where your financial systems finally become self-sustaining and really start to grow. And the core principle here, you have to remember this, is that stability must come before growth.
But wait, you might be thinking, where does the 13th step fit into all this? Well, Step 13, which is continuous learning, it's not the final destination at all. Think of it as the rocket's guidance system. It's a parallel backbone that runs through the entire journey, from preparing the launch pad all the way to maintaining orbit. It's really the core of the whole process.
So, as we dive into this framework, I think it's really important to set some clear expectations. What we're doing here is educational, it's not a motivational speech. It's structured, not just inspirational. And it's systems-based, not driven by emotion. I have to be clear, this is absolutely not a get-rich-quick scheme, and there are no promises of guaranteed results. And on that note, we have to share a clear and very important disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes only. It is not personalized financial, investment, tax, or legal advice. Everyone's situation is unique, so you are responsible for figuring out what applies to you, for doing your own research, and for consulting qualified professionals before you make any decisions. At the end of the day, success depends entirely on your execution.
All right, so let's quickly recap the big takeaways here. First, viewing your finances as a system design challenge. That changes everything. Second, the most important identity shift you can make is from employee to asset owner. And third, remember, financial independence comes before wealth. That's the first goal. In the next episode, we'll dive right into steps 1 and 2, making that identity shift and defining your vision.
Now, if you want to do a really deep dive into this entire framework, you can find all the original material on the YouTube channel, The Golden Path to Financial Independence. Just search for that full title, or you can go straight to youtube.com/@TamirGoldpath.
Thank you for joining us.